What's up, everyone? This is Mason with CamPocoCards.com. And would you believe me if I told you that some of the world's most valuable cards ever have passed through these hands? It's true, and it haunts me. So I want to tell you guys my Pokemon horror story. So to set the stage, it's 2020. I'm working a job I hate, but I'm still selling Pokemon cards. I'm posting on Facebook. I've got the marketplace ad up. I've got Craigslist ads up. I'm searching Mercari. I'm everywhere looking for these things, right? And the picture I used for Facebook for, hey, I'll buy your cards, was the first edition Shadowless Charizard, because it gets people's attention, right? So someone hits me up and they're like, hey, I have that card you have there and I'm looking to sell it. So immediately I'm like, oh yeah, obviously, let's do this. So he sends me some pictures and I'm like, okay, that's not the card. It was a base set Charizard, right? But I'm like, you know what? Good enough. And he was in Oklahoma, so about a 2.5 hour drive from me. So me and my wife get in the car, we go down to Oklahoma, and I start looking through these cards. We've got a base set Charizard, base set Blastoise, a couple copies of each. We've got a first edition Shadowless Chansey, first edition Shadowless a Gyarados in this lot. So I'm like, what do you want for these things, man? And he's like, yeah, I don't really care. You know, how about just $100 since you drove down here? Done. So I gave him $100, and he's like, oh, hey, by the way, I think I have more. If you're interested, I'll message you when I find them. And I'm like, yeah, man, freaking please do. So we go back, I get the cards sold, make a good amount of profit, keep doing my thing. And about 2 weeks later, he hits me up and goes, hey, I think I found those cards. Do you want to come look at them? And I'm like, yeah. And so we start talking about what kind of pricing he's looking at for this lot. And I haven't seen these cards, by the way. And he's like, I want at least $2,000. And I was like, okay, yeah, we could probably make that happen. So I have to drive down there after work. Again, it's me and my wife, and we drive down there after work, and we're on the road all night. And we get there, it's like 11 o'clock. And I guess he was on his way back from the storage unit in Arkansas. So he's like, hey, please wait there. Please wait there. I'll be back there really soon and we can make this deal happen. So we wait there, 11:30, around almost midnight, he gets back finally. He lets us inside and he's like, yeah, here's your cards. And so I'm looking at the cards, and the first thing I noticed when I opened the binder, first editions of let's see, we got not base set. There were some more from base set, like a Blastoise and I believe a Venusaur, but then we're talking Fossil, Jungle, I think Rocket, first editions, all of them. Not just that, unlimited editions after that. So we had both copies. And I'm like, good God, I'm freaking out. I'm like, well, how much do you want here? And again, he was at that $2,000 mark. And at the time, these cards were definitely worth that, right? And I was like, okay. And he's like, oh, I got some more stuff. Do you want this as well? I'll throw it in because I don't want it in my car. I just got it out of the storage locker. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's take a look. And he pulls out a sealed box of a Harry Potter booster box. I ended up selling that. I should have held on to it because it's worth a lot more now, but that's the market. And then a bunch of Beanie Baby cards and stuff like that. And then he pulls out a binder about this big of Pokemon cards that I wasn't familiar with at the time. And I was like, I guess I'll take them. I don't know what the heck they are. And so we make the deal. Drive home, super excited. My wife's nervous because she's like, I think we spent way too much money. And me being just giddy, I was like, no, dude, there's no way we did. This is awesome. So we get home and I look through these cards, got the first editions, everything's minty. And I asked him, I'm like, what's up? Is this your collection? And he's like, no, I bought a card store one time, which I guess he just bought a card store, but he bought a card store one time and he just threw all this crap in storage, right? And he's like, I don't really care about it, whatever. So I was like, okay, but I'm talking mint. We're talking 9s, 10s at least. So I sell my way through those ones, the first edition, for the first couple sets of Pokemon, Fossil, Jungle, Rocket, and I sell them. And then I start looking at, what are these other cards, right? What are these cards I'm not familiar with? Well, they're tops, and not just tops, they're tops Chrome. And I was extremely naive. I had no idea what these things were. So I put them up for sale and I was like, just give me $1,000. And I'm talking like, I'm getting hit up left and right for these things. So I removed the post. And it was actually my wife. She's like, hey, if you're getting hit up like this, just remove the post. And she's a lot smarter than me. So I'm like, okay. And someone messages me, an admin of a very large Facebook group. And he says, hey, you don't know what you have there. definitely hold on to these things, and he started educating me on them. So they're Topps Chrome cards, but not just that. I had the regular series, the foil series, the Chrome series, Sparkle, Techno, and Spectra. All of them, almost complete. There was, I think Techno was missing 1 or 2, but I mean, I'm talking every set was almost perfectly complete. Maybe 1 or 2 cards missing. Insane. So I sold them. It haunts me to this day. I think about it at night. It literally is in my brain that I sold these freaking cards, man. Don't get me wrong. I sold them for like $20,000, right? But it was not enough. Knowing now, I mean, that's the market. That's one thing that I guess I could stress to you guys. If there's anything to take from this, is to know the market and maybe get an idea of where it's going or where it was, and try and see where you're at when you're selling things. Or maybe it's a good idea to hold. If I would have held them even 4 or 5 months, it would have been $120,000. I'm going to show you guys some pictures right now. I warn you guys, knowing that I sold these is going to make you sick, and it might make you hate me. I apologize in advance. Alright guys, so that is one of my many Pokemon horror stories. If you have one, drop it in the comments. If you'd like to hear more of my Pokemon horror stories, let me know. Follow, subscribe, all that jazz. Alright, see you guys.